Alex, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, Sam. Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. Excited to be here.
Great to have you on. So let's start by getting to know you a little better. Can you tell us a bit about your background and how you got into trading?
Yeah, sure. So, I actually come from a very different background. I studied psychology in university and I worked as a behavioral analyst for a few years.
Hmm.
Trading wasn't even on my radar back then. It wasn't until 2019 when I stumbled upon the idea of Forex trading after reading an article about day trading and how a trader's psychology plays a huge role in it. That really caught my attention and I decided to dive in.
Wow. So psychology to trading. I mean, that's quite a unique path. How did you make the transition?
Yeah, it's not the usual route for sure. I started out small, just testing the waters with my savings. I opened an
Hmm.
account with a bigger broker and I started day trading, thinking I could handle it easily because of my background in psychology. But man, the market is a whole different beast. I
Yeah.
made some early mistakes, took a few losses, and realized that understanding market behavior isn't the same thing as understanding human behavior.
Sure.
That's when I started taking trading seriously and focused on learning the technical side.
That must have been quite a steep learning curve. So when did you make the jump into prop trading?
Yeah, it definitely was. I moved into prop trading in 2021 after a friend introduced me to the concept. At the
Hmm.
time, I was struggling to grow my personal account and was really attracted to the idea of trading with significant capital. I
Yeah.
took my first prop challenge and failed it miserably, but I didn't give up. I just kept analyzing my trades, tweaking my strategy accordingly, and eventually got funded after passing a challenge with Ola Prime.
That's amazing. What changes did you make after the first failed challenge?
Honestly, I was overcomplicating things. I was using multiple indicators,
Mm,
jumping between strategies, and just
yeah.
not sticking to a solid trading plan. After
Yeah.
failing, I simplified my approach. Now I focus on pure price action and use just a few key indicators. My main trading style is day trading. I execute a few trades during the day, aiming for small but consistent profits. I trade
Hmm.
primarily in the New York session, and my favorite
Okay.
pairs are EUR, USD, and US30.
Oh, that's interesting. So, coming to day trading, that's a fast-paced approach. What made you gravitate towards that kind of style?
Yeah, it's intense, but it suits my personality. I like the fast decision making. I find
Yeah.
that with day trading, I don't have to worry about long term market trends. I'm
Yeah.
focused on catching those quick short term moves. I use a combination of support and resistance levels, and I rely a lot on volume and momentum indicators. I use a 50 period moving average to gauge the overall trend and volume indicators to confirm whether there's enough momentum behind a move. If the volume isn't there, I stay out of the trade. For me, it's the
Yeah.
all about reacting to the market in real time after trading day.
Yeah. I love how you found a style that fits you and how you understand the importance of psychology and trading. Not many people are able to relate to, those two, right? So, a straightforward question for you, how do you apply your knowledge of psychology when you actually trade?
Yeah, psychology is huge in trading. One of the biggest things I've learned is emotional regulation.
Okay.
A lot of traders let their emotions dictate their trades. Fear of missing out, fear of losing,
Yeah. Yeah.
overconfidence. I make it a point to check in with myself before and after each trade. I know
Hmm.
when I'm not in the right mental space to trade and I step back when I need to. Journaling my trades has also helped me
Okay.
track my emotional
Yeah.
patterns, which has been a game changer.
Yeah, that's some very useful and important advice. It sounds like mindset and emotion control are key for you. So, do you have any specific routines to stay like grounded?
Every morning before I trade, I meditate for 15 minutes. It
Very
helps me
nice.
clear my mind and stay focused. And as I
Yeah.
mentioned, I journal every single trade. I write
Hmm.
down why I entered, what I was feeling at the time, and how the trade went. That reflection helps me learn from my mistakes and build on what's working.
That's really insightful, Alex. Now, let's talk about your biggest win. What's the most like memorable trade you had since becoming a funded trader?
That's a nice one. I'd been tracking US30 leading up to the release and noticed a pattern of fakeouts after previous
Hmm.
releases. This time, I saw a clear support level holding firm. So I knew if price bounced, then there was a strong chance for a quick move. As soon as the NFP numbers dropped, I waited for confirmation. A sharp bounce off support with rising volume, that was my entry signal. I placed my
Hmm.
stop just below the support to protect myself, and my target was a key resistance level I'd identified earlier. Within an hour, I captured a 100 pip move. It was a high risk situation, but I had planned my trade well and kept my risk in check by sizing down my position slightly. That trade gave me my first major payout with Ola Prime.
Wow.
And it's
Wow.
still one of my favorite moments of trading.
Wow. So 100 pips, I mean, that's huge, especially for a day trader. But I'm sure it hasn't been all smooth sailing. So, what's one of the toughest challenges that you faced?
Definitely. One of the hardest things I've had to deal with is staying disciplined. There
Mm,
was a time when I was on a winning streak and I got a bit too confident. I started increasing my position sizes and deviating from my
mm,
strategy. Of course, the market humbled me quickly, and I ended
yeah,
up losing a significant chunk of my profits. That experience taught me that discipline is everything in trading. You have
absolutely.
to stick to your rules, no matter how tempting it is to go bigger.
Yeah. I mean, that's such an important lesson. I mean, discipline really is key. You need to put a hard stop at certain places. So, Alex, we've all had those moments where we're towing the line, right? Trading's unpredictable and sometimes we slip up. Can you share a time where you might have breached a rule or came close? And if you did, how did you actually handle it at that moment?
I remember this one time vividly. I was having a pretty solid week, feeling confident, maybe a bit too confident. I had a couple of back to back wins, and honestly, I started to push my luck. I was trading US30, and I remember thinking, this setup looks good. I'm going to go bigger on this
Yeah.
one. I knew I was about to break my own risk management rule. Like I was taking on way more than I should have, but I convinced myself it'd be fine. And I ended up hitting the daily loss limit.
Classic, right? The rush when things are going well.
Exactly. But the market had other plans. I entered the trade, and within minutes, it was clear that it wasn't going the way I expected.
Yeah. I mean, and one last question before we wrap up. What advice would you give to new traders who are just starting out in prop trading?
I'd say two things. First, don't rush the process. Everyone wants to get funded and make big money fast, but
Hmm.
that mindset will lead to mistakes. Take your time to learn,
Yeah.
backtest your strategies, and be patient. Second, manage your emotions. The market is unpredictable and you need to stay level headed. If you can master your mindset, you're already ahead of most traders.
That's fantastic advice, Alex. Thanks so much for sharing your journey with us today. I'm sure our listeners will get a lot out of this conversation.
Thanks, Sam. It's been a pleasure.
And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back soon with more trader stories and insights. So, see you next time.
Hola Prime, trade with transparency.